Deborah was like,
Oh, she was an idiot.
she was like a brain. She had a lobotomy.
And that's saying something against people with lobotomies.
Hello, hello. Welcome to this episode. I think it's 71.
71, yeah.
Yeah, of What the Flicks podcast. My name is Susan Ayers.
Patty Smith.
Lon Shima.
Jorge Sanchez.
Bob Nick Shields.
So this week, welcome. So this week we're, let's see,
Baby Driver.
Lon.
Yes. My
Last
film was Baby Driver,
Sorry. Go ahead.
which was written and directed by Edgar Wright, a director that I've always really, really enjoyed. His stuff with Simon Pegg, I enjoyed, which is 3 films. And then he followed those up with Scott Pilgrim, versus the World, which I really enjoyed as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought, I'm sorry.
Who's that? Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, that was
That's the name of the movie, Scott Pilgrim
It's got like
versus
a
the World.
Japanese thing.
didn't
What's his
We
name?
never
We
did
never
that.
did
Never
that.
done it.
Oh.
In fact, I've never
Oh,
seen
no,
that.
it's a
but you
great
mentioned
movie.
it, but
Yeah.
Great movie.
It's called.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
It's
It's
almost
based
like
on a
anime,
comic
right?
book.
Yes.
Oh,
And it has a very much surreal animated look to it as
Yeah.
well. So I've always liked this director, but then I thought, now he's getting more serious type of stuff. So Baby Driver was one of them because, again, I heard, a little violent. So it's like,
A little.
exactly. But I'm sorry, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and At World's End were also extremely violent.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too put off as long as there was humor. The problem in that humor or the silliness of the humor is not the same level as his previous movies. This is more taken seriously because it's all about Baby, really well played, I thought, by Ansel Elgort. Thought he was terrific in it. He plays sort of what I think is an autistic type of person who just has a talent for driving. I mean, an incredible talent to driving, but for some
music.
reason, exactly, he has to always have his things, and he always has to set up music, to which I think it was in Wikipedia, I learned that apparently Edgar Wright was so impressed with him link syncing a song that's why he got hired.
Really?
Because when you see Ansel or Baby, the character Baby, he does that. He starts like talking with the songs, regardless of what it is. He starts singing to them. He knows it, but it's like every intricate moment, as like his driving, he knows. So he's just the driver. Kevin Spacey plays like I don't know what you'd call him, organized
The
con.
boss.
Well, that's the
Evil
thing.
bad guy.
Well, that's the thing.
He
See,
was
I don't
good.
know exactly if he was working on his own, if he's part of an organization or what. But he always called in. He was the head of a heist crew. He calls in all different people, but apparently he never used the same team twice. That was like his gimmick. So the thing that's interesting is when Baby has to meet all these other drivers. On the first heist, it's
Not
sort of
other
interesting.
drivers.
I'm sorry, other
crew.
criminals
robbers,
to work,
yes.
yeah. And it's sort of funny because you have some really talented people.
Yeah.
Like there was John Hamm, Jamie Foxx, John Bernthal. I thought, wow,
Even
this
Flea,
is sort of
yeah.
good. And Flea, exactly.
John Bernthal, by the way.
Bernthal, okay. It's like, wow, they were really good playing the roles.
yeah.
Lily James also shows up as a romantic interest. She comes off sweet, which she sort of, in my opinion, general. Again, though, another British person. Edgar Wright's British, by the way. So it's like, okay, let's see what they do. And then you're watching this, and it's entertaining for what it is. I thought, I had to admit, from the time I put it on and watched maybe the first hour, because I had to turn it off because I got a little sidetracked or bored with it. It's like, oh, okay, I see what this movie's all about. But then it gets a little darker because, that's why I give it to Jamie Foxx and John Hamm in this movie. They're really likable people, but they're very unpleasant in this movie. And as they keep pushing the envelope, but it's in their character. So immediately once you meet the characters, this is the way they are. So the way they handle things. It keeps you interested, I think, for a while. I was hoping it was going to be something more entertaining, but it just didn't get there for me. So I was sort of left cold by the end of the movie. I didn't quite understand one of the relationships he had in the film, but for the most part, I thought, oh, okay, it's entertaining. I can actually recommend it. So I think you'll like this movie. I just don't know how well you'll like this movie.
Why did you choose it?
Oh, I just always choose movies that people tell me, oh, you should see
Oh,
this or
I see,
that.
I see, okay.
That's why sometimes I choose movies and I give it a 3 because I don't like it.
I was going to ask the same question too, actually. For me?
Okay.
Because the reason I was going to ask the question was because I know this movie is considered a cult classic.
Really?
Oh, is it?
It is, yeah. And I've heard,
Is it?
and I've seen things on social media where people go, there's some kind of event and they go, oh, look, it's such and such from Baby Driver. 15 years later, doing a meeting again after doing that movie, that great classic movie. And I'm going, what is this movie? So I always heard, I never watched it, but I always saw this movie mentioned in terms of cult classic, like a really, people really like it. So I thought maybe you were one of those cultists that really liked it. And they're going to find out why. So, but I would say the movie, I enjoyed actually I really enjoyed well, obviously the car chases, the driving. I was like, yeah, highway to the danger zone. So I thought kind of like Ronin, and was it Ronin? The movie?
Yeah.
Ronin, yeah.
And Bullet. This great car racing scenes. I actually enjoyed the way they hooked it up with the music. Now that you mentioned that he might be autistic, now it makes sense because a lot of times that character didn't make sense to me why he acted that way.
Right.
But if he's autistic, makes total sense. That you need the music, you need.
He's on the spectrum.
Yes, like Sheldon, where you need things needs to be right. Hold on, we're not going until this song goes on.
Exactly.
And I see it. You know, it's like you need some things need to happen to be in order for you to move on to the next step.
OCD.
So now that makes sense. So now that makes sense to me. Like you said,
Calling me a child?
the Lily James thing that to me seemed like which I kind of found confusing for his character being kind of nerdy, autistic, how smooth he was with the girl, like suddenly he likes her and he's aggressive. That's almost like a different personality now. So their intense level of attraction, it almost seemed like too unreal for how quickly they just met.
Right.
Unless she's messed up too, and then like a Bonnie and Clyde or Thelma and Louise, then it makes sense. I thought actually the music in it reminded me the other movie, because the movie is also considered one of the reasons considered a classic movie is how great they integrated music into the story. That's one of the things that they talk about. But I thought the other movie, it reminded me of another movie that did this brilliantly, and that was Guardians of the Galaxy. All three of them.
Yes.
All three Guardians. Where they integrated music is such a part of that movie.
Yeah.
Or that series. And it became such a part of this movie too. So I liked it. And it was a great soundtrack. I was like, wow, great soundtrack. The whole time I was watching the movie. But Kevin Spacey, I love Kevin Spacey. He can do no wrong. Even as a bad guy, I still like him. He can help. I like the bloke. So, but yeah, it's like you. I was still left like, I don't know, dog. I don't know. I'm missing something here. I still don't see the huge. I mean, I was watching reviews on it, and people were just saying this is brilliant, the greatest movie ever made. Like people are talking about this movie like it was like Ben-Hur kind of thing. So
That's a
and
great
I was
lot
like, and I
better
was
than
going,
Ben-Hur.
so that was I was really interested in seeing it to find the mystery, the myth behind the legend or whatever. So, but I still enjoyed it though. It was enjoyable. Some parts were unbelievable, but it was entertaining. I found it entertaining.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think that actually the relationship between him and between Baby and
Deborah.
Lily James is kind of
nauseating.
no. I think it's kind of what do you call it?
I was just watching another movie with a love interest is Vanessa, so I call
Well,
it Vanessa.
it's just the term we were just talking about. The term you were just talking about it being on the spectrum.
No.
What's the adjective
Autistic?
I want? Autistic.
Autistic?
Yeah, there was kind of that's kind of the way he relates to her, and she just really happens to
okay.
like the music that he plays.
Okay, that one
But
makes sense.
because everything that he does is sort of based around the music,
Right.
and by the way, he's the guy who played Tony in the Spielberg West Side Story.
Yeah. Not
like
enthusiastic. Not enthusiastic.
No, I mean, well, I think he was underrated in that. I think he does a good job. It's weird. There's two young actors, very similar in type with the same initials, Ansel Elgort and Alden Ehrenreich, and they're both really good actors, but their names are so similar that I keep confusing them with each other. But yeah, this was like for Jamie Foxx. I thought, wow,
He was
this
good.
this is something new for Jamie Foxx. He's
Yeah.
going in a whole level, and I forget what I saw him in since then, where he's taking it even further. I mean, it's like
Right.
he's becoming really somebody I want to watch a movie for.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but this was I thought hey, well, yeah, it's car chases, so what?
Yeah.
But still, I was I had seen it before when I saw we were going to do it. I thought, okay, well, I think I liked it. And when I watched it again, I said, this is really kind of good. John Hamm, again, the best thing I've seen John Hamm do, because he does not work on the big screen that much to me.
That's true.
And I thought he did a really good job with this. They were scary guys.
Mm-hmm.
They were really scary guys, and
They can turn it on and off. I noticed that.
Well, that's what I mean. They both seem to have that charm and that like wink of the eye kind of smile, and then all of a sudden it's like
Kill you.
exactly.
But I think John Hamm can play a good comedian too. I think he has good comedy.
Who's that?
John Hamm.
Yes, I
I've
agree.
seen him good
I
in
agree.
comedy.
Yeah.
well, with Kevin Spacey, I mean, the way he just says it, like I said, we were done. I didn't say it's over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I just keep thinking he's one of the great actors.
Yeah,
He
he really
really
is.
is
He
a
really
great
is.
actor.
And I watched a couple of the episodes of that documentary, that sort of expose
Oh, it's
documentary
horrible.
they're doing on it.
In
Yeah.
fact, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the new Garfield movie came out, and they have what's the name?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt was the voice of Garfield. And I was saying it should have been Kevin Spacey.
Wait, Garfield?
Garfield.
It
Like
should
in the
have.
press cat, Garfield is lasagna. There's a new animated movie on it.
Well, I'm not, this is a
I'm
Garfield
Garfield.
movie?
Yeah, just came out.
Animated
The cat.
movie.
Animated movie.
Yeah.
And they used Chris Pratt as the voice, and I thought it should have been Kevin Spacey.
Why?
Because
Well,
he's the
because
perfect
Bill Murray had
voice for
already done it.
Bill
Garfield.
Murray did it. Bill Murray.
But Bill Murray did it because he thought it was a different director. The guy had the same name as another director, and he thought he was working for that guy. And he said, "You let me sign on to this piece of shit."
But Bill Murray was great too because it's the low key depressed. Back to you. I'm getting
Back
sidetracked.
to
I'm
the
not-
movie.
I don't have that much more to say. I enjoyed it. I thought it was it's not great, but it was entertaining.
Well, actually, I was going to use a nail file when I did this one, right?
that mean? I'm
This movie. I read the reviews of this, like
Ebert?
Ebert.
Oh.
Loved it. Thought it was the best thing. I was like, I despise this movie.
Oh wow.
I was like, my angst is not against the actors. I mean, the actors were fine. I am still.
What's the egg?
Ansel
Where's the
Elgort.
eggs?
No,
Yeah.
no, it was this. The vacuous Deborah, played by Lily James, she did the character fine. It's the character I have a hard
Oh,
time
yeah.
with. Oh
She was
my
a-
God.
Their love story just what a
Oh my
cute-
God. How stupid is Deborah? It's like, does she have she meets this guy, he's a crook. And it's like she's willing
What a
to
nice
go.
guy.
Yeah, she's willing to go off
Well,
with
she is
him.
young. She is young.
No, nobody's that young.
Oh yeah.
She's
No,
Marilyn Kahn.
no.
We've all been that
She's
young,
stupid.
Sue.
She's stupid.
Yeah, it's
That's
like,
the word.
but it's like she has no goals of her own. It's kind of like, yes.
Well, it's all about Baby
yeah,
Driver.
nobody, okay.
It is
But,
a baby driver.
But Kevin Spacey as a supervillain was the classic meanie, and he was fantastic. Jamie Foxx was fantastic. John Hamm was they were all good in their Eliza Gonzalez and John Bernthal
Bernthal.
as the two psychotic sociopaths were fine. But they were just like,
And
why do I,
sociopaths,
it's like,
though.
why do I care about these characters? They're so awful. And they round out the baddies. And to me, this is a stereotype adolescent boy fantasy. The two women in the film were awful. The characters were awful, not the actors.
Right.
The characters were awful, but not even in a great awful way. Kevin Spacey actually made that character kind of interesting. The
Yeah.
character was kind of
He always did.
interesting,
Always
but
does,
but
right?
yeah, but even though it wasn't really a great part, he just so it was like this is just.
Did you hate it, Sue?
Well, at first I thought it was like maybe kind of like like a cult film. Like, I have to look at Killer Tomatoes or something like that. That's a cult
That feels
film.
amazing.
Yeah.
It sure is.
And I have to
And
approach,
Killer Clowns
I
from
have
Outer
to
Space.
approach it
Oh,
this
that
way.
movie
Yes,
scares the shit out
exactly.
of
That
me.
was a good movie, though.
Man, that movie's scary.
Yeah.
That gives me nightmares.
I don't like
So
clowns.
in the beginning, I was like so awful. I don't mean awful bad. I mean awful violent that I had to kind of watch it in chunks. It was like, okay, I'm going to have to watch this in chunks.
Wait a
think
minute.
that
You,
was
you mean
violent?
you had to wait for them to chop you up before you'd watch it?
Yeah. But I got halfway through and then I went, okay, now that I can watch it, but is this the fucking stupidest movie I've ever seen? It's like, are these that baby? I couldn't stand him.
He's not even the stupidest of these five.
I can't stand him.
We
I
didn't
I
like
can't
him.
stand baby. I couldn't stand. Deborah was like,
Oh, she was an idiot.
she was like a brain. She had a lobotomy.
And that's saying something against people with lobotomies.
Do not insult people with lobotomies.
Oh, the feminists are going to get on us for this one.
No, I think they'll agree with me. It's like, okay,
Well,
like,
but didn't she play like Snow White or something like that? I mean, it's like
probably,
she plays.
there you go. That's
She
another.
plays like these sort of.
Lily James or
Yeah.
Maybe she's
Was that
trying
Lily
to
Collins,
change
was it?
her.
Can I
Talking
put
about
my
Lily
opinion
James?
in
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I
she
mean,
was
she
in-
plays these sort of like
She was in yesterday. That was a good movie.
fantasy
Gentlemen,
women.
gentlemen, the lady want to speak. Go
The
ahead,
lady
Patty.
wants to talk.
I want to find out whether Patty liked this movie or not.
I found it interesting because I'd seen it a long time ago.
when
I
it
didn't
first
like
came
it.
out, probably, right?
One is I couldn't believe his name was Baby. I'm sorry. He just
Who?
didn't have. He didn't have Baby, the name. Also, too, I'm not into car things.
Yeah.
But because we had it, so I decided to watch it. To me, the love story was horrible. They kept that out of it, but I know why they did it.
Why?
Why? Because it's the thing that he keeps, something he can look forward to go off into the sunset.
Oh, okay.
But you're right, the girl was so annoying. Okay. It was entertaining. I love the thing that he does about tinnitus because I have tinnitus and I do that. I have
So
to
do
have,
I. Yeah.
I have to, sound on all the time.
Oh, tinnitus.
Tinnitus.
I thought you were saying
I
tendonitis.
said tinnitus.
Tinnitus.
But to me, Kevin
Tinnitus,
Spacey
right.
is the person who made this whole movie. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
Also for you.
Okay, so let's. Not so for you.
Well,
Rate it, babe.
well, it was entertaining. I mean, that is even I have to put it in those kind of movies, so you have to suspend belief too. But I do like it. Maybe car race. I love
George.
me car chase movie. But I'll probably give it like.
adolescent
I'll give
dream.
it a the Kevin Spacey too. So I'll give it a 6.
I'll go with a high 2 or a low 3.
I'm with you. I'll give it a low 2.
I'll give it a 7. Gee.
I gave it a 5.
Okay, so that
That's it.
well, yes, it's it for you guys. Now, if I could
Well,
ever
that's
find
all that
my
counts.
notes, this ends episode 71 of What the Flicks podcast. We hope you enjoyed it and that you'll actually send us things that like watch some of the movies that we and you can have your opinion too and let us know. And you can also send us suggestions you might want us to review. That would be fun. Let's see, what else? Okay, if you enjoyed our show, you can like us and you can, we have a,
Support us.
yeah, that would be great,
Patreon, buy me a coffee.
Yeah, what I was saying, Netflix is not free, right? So
Exactly.
So you can buy us coffee, or you can follow us on Patreon, and
Can bring you those suggestions.
On K-Town? What's that?
Patreon.
Oh, Patreon.
We just got a suggestion on another French movie.
Go over
We'll tell you
to
about
the
it.
store over in
Oh,
Koreatown
Just
that sells our
fingernails.
stuff.
I know it's a. I'll tell
And
you.
next time we're gonna do Saint Jill.
Okay. So everybody say goodbye. Goodbye.
Oh, wait. I want to say one thing that Saint Jack, the one I did tonight, is the first in a series of movies that I'm going to be reviewing each time, so that it's going to go over the next
gonna be a
3
theme.
Oh,
episodes.
goody.
And basically the theme of it is a movie that could not have been made with anyone else. It wouldn't have been as good.
Okay, I'm gonna be adios, guys, and we will continue this.
Yes.
Later.
This conversation.
Bye.
I want to eat my sandwich.
Bye.